We get it. After all the frustration, the endless cycles of hoping for a system that actually works, you're ready for something steady. Something that delivers without constant workarounds or headaches. That's why we're excited to introduce the 2025 redesign of the Buzz CRM. Built with you in mind, it's more intuitive, faster, and smarter than ever. Finally, a CRM that sees your worth, streamlines your workflows, and gives you the tools to thrive without needing to prove yourself over and over again. Because you deserve a lifeline after all those outdated platforms. You deserve a system that keeps up with your goals and grows with your success. This isn't just a redesign, it's a revolution. Visit thebuzzcrm.com today. That's thebuzzcrm.com.
Welcome in, nerds, and you're probably wondering why I'm wearing the same shirt. That's because I finished my last video and immediately had another idea for another video and just started over with a new video. So it's not like I'm wearing the same shirt 2 weeks in a row, although if most of you know me, I have a very limited wardrobe, so this wouldn't actually surprise you 2 weeks in a row wearing the same shirt in the same situation. But regardless, people constantly hit me up, be like, how do I book a tour? How do I book more shows? How do I open up for this band? How do I get this person's attention? There's a lot of people that get to a moment where they get super bogged down with things that seem unrealistic or unreachable. And the reality is that everything is a possibility if you make the right choices, or sometimes the wrong choices. Sometimes people make god-awful choices that wind up making it work for them. So who knows? One of the things about art being subjective is that the pathway to success is also completely different for every person. That is probably the most subjective part about all of this. There's this video I remember a while back of this guy that was standing in a room with a snare drum on a table, beating the hell out of it with a microphone. And there was a crowd of like 40 people standing around. And after he was done, with whatever he was doing, the whole crowd went bananas for him. I personally don't get it. Doesn't mean that other people won't. And he had 40 people watching him do that. We've flown across the entire country and had one person show up. But if you want to do something, there's plenty of paths to be able to do it. Resources are everywhere. I have become a resource for a lot of people. I've given a lot of advice just based on the stuff that I've done. And I am not... This is the thing. One of the hardest parts about me being so outspoken about this stuff is because it's really hard for me to justify me giving advice to somebody when I am not in successful in the greater term zeitgeist words, you know? Whatever that meant. Like if I wanted to write a book about success in the music industry, but yet haven't played an arena or haven't made $1 million playing music, does that mean that I am not worthy to be able to give advice? And this was one of the biggest problems I had going into this endeavor of trying to be more outspoken and giving advice to people. And I came to the conclusion that there has to be a reason why people keep reaching out to me and asking me questions like this. It's only because I did it. And I think there's a massive difference between doing it successfully and doing it at all. People do it and they're wildly successful, and those stories are always fun. But there's plenty of people that do all the same thing and do not become successful from it, and it doesn't change the fact that they still did the same thing. I've booked tours, done social media campaigns, photo shoots, music videos, headshots, learned how to be a video editor, learned how to be an audio engineer, learned how to do live sound, learned how to run shows, book shows locally, festivals. I've done all this stuff because I had to. I've had some successes, mostly with the booking the shows and the festival things, good turnouts and stuff like that, which is what you want. But by no means am I successful in the grand sense of the word. That doesn't mean that the things that I can be able to tell you or the advice I could be able to give based on my experience alone can't help you. Just because you don't have the experience that the other person has doesn't mean that the experience that you do have is any less of an experience. But one thing that people get hung up on so much is the things that they don't know. What I'm trying to say is use your resources. Find the people that do these things and ask these questions. I get asked all the time. And I'm asking people all the time too. I started playing music 20 years ago. I started taking it very seriously and touring and all that stuff like that. Probably about I toured back in the day, but when I got sober, I took it very seriously. And I asked a lot of questions. And I bugged a lot of people. And I annoyed a lot of people. But some of those people are now my best friends. Some of those people are the people that have helped me and I've helped them, and we've created this community that is 561 Music. There's also the other side of this, where you do everything and you don't ask any questions and you kind of wing it. But I would say, as a piece of advice from somebody that did that too, it's better to know than it is to not. So if you can ask questions, you should ask questions. There's a very established artist that does big shows and has a good following and is represented well in the music community as a whole. And still, we had a conversation the other day about touring, how to do it, what to look for, how to be able to go about it, how to be able to make money doing it, which is really hard. It's funny because it's not somebody that I would have thought would need some help. Someone as well established would have somebody to either do it for them or they'd have the grasp. They could just call up buddies, but like, oh no, but still, you're still struggling. I have another friend that plays with a massive artist, huge artist, Grammy-winning artist, traveled all over the world with him. She is going on tour for her own record, and she is in a van with 5 other dudes traveling around the U.S. Small one, too. If it wasn't for her resources, obviously talent, too. She's incredibly talented. But if it wasn't for her resources, she wouldn't be getting to where she is. But even with resources like that, she still is in a van with 5 other dudes traveling around the U.S. She's up in the upper echelon and still riding around in a van like the rest of us dopes. So not only is the music subjective, not only is the art subjective, not only is the reception subjective, but the result is subjective. It all depends on how much work you want to put into it. It all depends on how much you want to get out of it. I think the big thing is don't get overwhelmed with what you don't know and just try and figure it out. There's way more letters in I don't know how to than how do I. Thank you once again for watching. I really do appreciate it. I hope that anything that I say in all of these videos is any bit of use for you. And if it is, please hit me up. You could be able to email me, itsmerickyb@gmail.com. You can follow me on Instagram @itsmerickyb. I'd love to hear what's going on with you. I'd love to hear, how can I help? Yeah, let's do that. And there's also an audio version of this, the podcast, Coping with Creativity with Ricky Bolife is on Spotify. So make sure you go over there, subscribe. If you can't get to the videos, you can be able to listen to the audio. And I do appreciate it. See you guys later.
And the highs, I think to myself, what a weird place to die, but at least they got the northern lights.
We get it. After all the frustration, the endless cycles of hoping for a system that actually works, you're ready for something steady. Something that delivers without constant workarounds or headaches. That's why we're excited to introduce the 2025 redesign of the Buzz CRM. Built with you in mind, it's more intuitive, faster, and smarter than ever. Finally, a CRM that sees your worth, streamlines your workflows, and gives you the tools to thrive without needing to prove yourself over and over again. Because you deserve a lifeline after all those outdated platforms. You deserve a system that keeps up with your goals and grows with your success. This isn't just a redesign, it's a revolution. Visit thebuzzcrm.com today. That's thebuzzcrm.com.